This question is, look at the absolute value of 2x minus 1, and when is that greater than or equal to 8? So we're going to solve it first as an equal. When does the absolute value of 2x minus 1 equal 8? Well, when is that true? When is the absolute value of something equal 8? Well, 2x minus 1 could equal 8, right? Because the absolute value of 8 is 8. But the absolute value of negative 8 is also 8. So you could say 2x minus 1 could have been negative 8, right? Absolute value of negative 8 is also 8. So there's two possibilities here that we're working with. Let's add 1 to both sides. 2x is 9. Divide 2, divide 2. X is 9 halves. Add 1 to both sides. 2x is negative 7. Divide 2, divide 2. X is negative 7 halves. Now, take a look at the inequality. It's greater than or equal. That tells me that these will be solid dots. So we're going to have a solid dot at negative 7 halves, a solid dot at 9 halves. Make sure you draw them in the proper order. Negative 7 halves is a negative number. That's got to come first. 9 halves is a positive number. That has to come second. Both solid dots. And we're going to test numbers in each interval. Between a negative number and a positive number, our favorite choice would be 0. Beyond 9 halves, so that's what, 4 1/2? Beyond 4 1/2, 5, 6, 7, pick one. To the left of negative 7 halves, that's negative 3 1/2, so negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, pick one. So I'm going to test those three and shade where it's true. So again, here is my question. Here is my number line with negative 7 halves here, with a solid dot, 9 halves here with the solid dot, and the test points I'm using, again, I want negative 6 here, I want 0 here, and I want 7 here. I always like to do 0 first, so remember we're looking at whether this is a true statement or not. Absolute 2x minus 1 greater or equal to 8. Plug in 0. Absolute 2 times 0 minus 1, is that greater or equal to 8? Absolute 0 minus 1, is that greater or equal 8? Absolute negative 1, is that greater or equal to 8? Absolute negative 1 is positive 1. Is positive 1 greater or equal to 8? No, do not shade that section. Now let's jump to 7. Again, absolute 2x minus 1 greater or equal to 8. Let's plug 7 in. 2 times 7 minus 1, is that greater or equal to 8? Absolute 14 minus 1, is that greater or equal to 8? Is absolute 13 greater or equal to 8? Is 13 greater or equal to 8? That's yes. So I will shade here. Going that way. And then finally we have negative 6. So again, absolute 2x minus 1 greater or equal to 8. Plug in negative 6. Absolute 2 times negative 6 minus 1 greater or equal to 8. Absolute negative 12 minus 1 greater or equal to 8. Absolute negative 13, again, interestingly enough. Absolute negative 13 is positive 13 greater or equal to 8, that's yes. And that's what you'll find on these absolute values. You'll either get the stuff in the middle or the stuff on the outsides, most of the time. So how do we express this answer in interval notation? All the way to the left is negative infinity, comma, negative 7 halves with a square bracket because the dot is solid, because greater than or equal to it includes the point. Union, square bracket again, starting at 9 halves, ending where? To positive infinity. Everything is read left to right. So that is the answer. But I'd also like to take a look at that on Desmos to see if I can see when the absolute value of 2x minus 1 is indeed greater than or equal to 8. So let me go ahead and get Desmos ready. So here we go. I want to look at the absolute value. So y equals the absolute value of 2x minus 1. There is the graph of that. And when is that bigger than 8? So here is y equals 8. When is the green function more than 8? Well, starting here at negative 3.5 and everything to the left of negative 3.5, the green function is bigger than 8. Starting here at 4.5 and everything beyond, the green function is bigger than 8. So you can see to the left of negative 3.5, to the right of positive 4.5, the green function is bigger than 8. What did I say the interval notation thing was? Negative infinity to negative 3.5. To the left of negative 3.5, and 9/2 to infinity to the right of 9/2, including the endpoints because it is greater than or equal.